Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Morning Meta. I am yours truly, Travis Spencer.
I'm Camilla Crawley.
Camilla, it is community conversations today.
hmm
All right, so we got a wonderful topic for everyone. Can you share a little bit about what we're going to do?
So, our topic for today is going to be one of our themes. And I know that last week we had a wonderful conversation with our guest, Evelyn Ray, and
Yes.
she was talking about this sacred pause. And it made me think, let's continue that a little bit with our theme around stillness,
hmm
rest, and reflection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a lot to say about that.
Good, good. But we'll first get started before we jump into that. We'll first get started with some grounding.
Okay.
And for our grounding, we're just going to ground in the body. Um, Speaking of rest, I'm going to invite you as we do this grounding to allow yourself enough time to really feel into how we're moving through the body for the grounding. Because when we talk about rest, it doesn't always mean that rest is getting in the bed under the covers and going to sleep.
hmm
Sometimes rest is just gently noticing the body and allowing yourself to just settle in it
hmm
and then move on. Okay, so
Yes,
that's what we're going to
yes.
do now. So let's ground. Wherever you are, first, I'm just going to invite you to tune into your feet if that's possible. And if not, tune into another part of the body. Notice your feet if they happen to be flat on the floor, and notice what they feel like. See if you can bring up a sense of rest for your feet, maybe imagining that your feet are planted into the ground. Okay. Allow your attention just to rest there. You don't have to do anything. Just allow the attention to rest there and notice. Now, gently scan through your body and bring your attention up to your thighs. Again, imagine as if you're planted, whatever you're positioning in, what you're sitting on, imagine you're like planted into that, rooted and attached to that. And just let your attention settle there. We're not doing anything specific, we're just being. All right. And then finally, scan through, notice the rest of the body. So, noticing your back and your shoulders. And then go all the way up to the crown of the head. Again, let your attention settle there and just rest there. Now, bring your attention back into the breath gently. Notice your breath as you inhale and exhale. And then come back into this moment right now. So, if you happen to have your eyes closed, you can gently open them. And I want to invite you just to be in a little stillness for maybe 5 more seconds. All right. So that was our grounding. Even that can be a rest practice.
hmm Absolutely. Yes, I'm feeling very present and very open to the conversation that we're going to have very soon.
Yeah.
So, but before we get to that, I want to invite everyone to set their intention for today.
Mhm.
So, our intention, it's something how you're looking for your day to unfold. It's maybe there are things that you have to do. Just setting intentions for those things, and then releasing what you've set, and then allow the day to unfold just naturally, so that you can be present for whatever arises. Okay. So let's take 5, 10 seconds, maybe just 3 breaths, whatever feels right for you. For me, I count 10 seconds by 3 breaths, So inviting you just 3 breaths as you set your intention for today. All right. Moving forward to our centering thought.
Okay, let's see what we have here this morning. All right, the centering thought here says Either the United States will destroy ignorance, or ignorance will destroy the United States. Again, our centering thought is either the United States will destroy ignorance, or ignorance will destroy the United States. And that is a quote by the ancestor W.E.B. Du Bois.
Mm. That is a wonderful, wonderful quote, and I think it's a great lead into this idea of stillness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our ancestor is speaking the truth as we're watching the things that are unfolding in our country, and a lot of these things are around ignorance, are based in ignorance, oppression, and things like that. Racism, all of those things are, in my opinion, based in ignorance. So what we're looking at now is, what does it look like to be still, to be with ourselves, to heal, and to be open to life as it truly is? Because when you buy into the ignorance, you don't fully enjoy life. You can't enjoy life when you fill it with hate, when you fill with ignorance. you know they say ignorance is bliss,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're not being true to yourself, you know what is blissful about that? you know
Mm-hmm.
so I want to ask you, and I know I love that quote so much, I kind of went there,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to be talking about stillness. So let me ask you, how does stillness support you in your days?
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I think for me, stillness supports me in being able to give myself some space when things come up. And it could be things that are challenging or that seem difficult. Being able to be still can give you enough time to, as you said, kind of see things as they really are.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you went to the quote and you're thinking like, okay, now I'm gonna go this way. But really, I think the quote does connect because you spoke about ignorance as, something that really can. I almost took it like it can be a distraction, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's the times that we're living in. So that ignorance can be distraction. And to me, distraction means a lot of movement, a lot of stuff is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're focusing on is stillness, the rest, and reflection. Because once you can get still, rest, and reflect, then you begin to see more clearly, oh
Mm-hmm.
wait, so what's going on really is that this is ignorance, this is distraction, this is all these other things. You start to see the truth of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then from that place, you're better able to think clearly into, now how do I want to choose to respond to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all of that for me is connected to your question about how does stillness, this rest and reflection support my days. Well, that's exactly it. If you're constantly distracted, if you are leaning into the ignorance, then you're getting further and further away from the truth of the moment. And then your response is not so much a response, it's a reaction. And I
Mm.
absolutely think that that's what we're seeing present day in terms of what's happening in parts of the country.
Mhm.
So many people, as you said, leaning into the ignorance. So now you're foggy,
Mhm.
you're foggy in terms of your thinking. And then the response is not not necessarily a wise or healthy response, it's reaction. Because I
Yes.
haven't had the time or the space
Mhm.
to really settle and see things as they are and think clearly to make a
Mm.
wiser decision. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful, wonderful points that you made. You made around becoming still, so that you can begin seeing clearly.
Hmm.
It's interesting that when as you said that, I thought about a mud puddle. Is that when you've stepped into a mud puddle, all of the the dirt and soot and everything rises, and now you can't see the bottom of the puddle. But as soon as the puddle stills, then it becomes clear and you can see down to the bottom of the puddle.
Mm.
So that's what ignorance is. It's your inability to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you begin to think about, to your point, about all that we are dealing with, we're inundated with so many things, so much that we have to take time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and considering that this is a part of the winter theme, that stillness, this is the time for us to sit still. Um, there was a book that you actually invited me to read. I think it was Deepak Chopra. Chopra, that's his name.
Oh, Deepak Chopra.
Yeah, he talks about 30 minutes of
Oh
stillness.
yeah, yes. It's
Yeah.
the 7 laws of spiritual success. I
Okay.
believe that's the name of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to invite you, and what I'm saying, the invitation is about to go out, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to complete the thought. It's just he shared that just sitting for 30 minutes a day really supports you getting clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, so I want to add to that is when you sit still, that supports reflection and it supports resilience building. And resilience building is essential to navigating life, to healing, to being open, and to combating ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is a wonderful practice. And I really want to emphasize that
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be very long. So even if you start off that practice by saying to yourself, well, you know what? I think I don't have an hour, I don't have 2 hours, whatever, but I do have 5 minutes in between these two things.
Hmm.
Or even for those who feel like, as a parent, it's like, well, I never have any time to myself.
Hmm.
One of the things I know both of us have probably shared with parents is like, well, do you ever go to the bathroom,
Hmm.
alone? Then that time where you're in there in the bathroom, that's some rest, that's some
Hmm.
reflection, that's some quiet, that's some stillness there. I just want to really emphasize that it's possible,
Yes.
no
Yes.
matter what, because it doesn't have to be this ideal perfect space or amount of time. Just remember that it's possible to get still each and every day. We do so many things throughout the day.
Hmm.
I'm even thinking about, like, when you wake up in the morning, before you lift your head off the pillow,
Hmm.
or if you go into the bathroom and you're getting ready to wash your face and brush your teeth, like all those different things that we're doing can still be a part of that practice of stillness.
Hmm.
Because again, stillness to me is not necessarily that you are like your body is still, you're not moving, you're not saying anything. To me, stillness means that even you're still in your mind.
Hmm.
So I could be washing my face and still my mind could be still during that process.
Hmm.
So I really just want to emphasize to people that we really believe that this is possible for you.
Hmm.
We're inviting you into it, and start where you're at.
Hmm. And here's something to consider as a part of that. Um, take some time and then just map your day out. Like we talk about in each morning meta, setting an intention. So I want to invite you just to map out your day. So what time are you getting up? What time do you get breakfast? Maybe go to work, um, lunch break, all of those different things that you're doing throughout the day. When you're picking up the kids, if you have children, what time do you go to bed? Now the invitation is, once you've mapped that out, begin to look at where can you be deliberate about being still.
Mhm.
Maybe as you're waiting for the kids to get out of school, you may be sitting in the car. To what Camilla
Mhm.
was just sharing, this may be a moment for stillness.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, I think that's great. So
Mhm.
looking forward to continuing
Yes.
with you all with these conversations. And I think we already went through the call to action.
Yeah,
It's
mapping
it's
out
out
your
there.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's out there. So just don't forget. like and subscribe,
Hmm.
share the channel with others, and join us again where we're going to start grounding.